Hey guys, it's Lauren. Welcome to my channel. So this is a video that I have been wanting to do for a while. It's really been on my mind. I've gotten a lot of comments on a couple of my videos where people have commented on the products I'm using. People have said, do you know there's parabens in that product? Do you know there's talc in that product? Do you know you're just using a bad product all around? I just wanted to get the facts out there. So I wanted to go over all the ingredients that the FDA already regulates. So these are the ingredients that are already banned from using in skincare and cosmetics. And then I also wanted to go over the ingredients that are deemed carcinogenic or toxic, but these ingredients are still being used in cosmetics and skincare. And then at the end of the video, I wanted to go over Tiffany Masterson's 6 No's. So Tiffany Masterson is the founder of Drunk Elephant, and while she's not a scientist or doctor, she has put a ton of research into her company. So I feel like she's a really good, reliable source. And I'm not saying that you have to go off of with what she says, but I feel like it's a good starting point or a talking point for you guys to do further research. And speaking on research, I just wanted to stress on that it's so important for you guys to do your own research and research the studies that are actually out there. Look at the reliable information that's out there. There's so many blogs and articles out there where you can tell that are extremely biased. They're just pulling information from here and there, and then there's no articles cited from that. So I just feel like it's so important to look at research articles on your own and to look at the source. And I'm also not a doctor or a scientist, but I am a nurse and I work in a hospital where we use evidence-based practice. So every day we go off of standards of care and policies. So basically, if there's a study out there that's deemed statistically significant or reliable study, then we apply that to our practice. We change our standards of care and our policies. So I think it's so important to apply that philosophy to your skincare and your makeup and to look at the ingredients that are in your cosmetics. Now me, I come from the standpoint of if it's not a proven ingredient, I'm not necessarily going to avoid it. Yes, it's a plus if I see that something is paraben and phthalate free, but I'm not necessarily going to look out for that. I probably should more often. I guess I just look at it as a plus if these ingredients are not included in the product. And I know a lot of you out there come from the standpoint of if there's any kind of study out there, any kind of link to anything causing cancer in a product, I'm going to avoid it completely. And I completely understand that. I just wanted to get the facts out there to you for you guys to look at articles on your own and to make your own opinions and own judgments. Alright, so let's first take a look at the list that the FDA already bans. These are the ingredients that are restricted and are regulated by law. So if a company uses any of these ingredients, they can get in a lot of trouble. Now, because these ingredients are already banned, you really don't have to worry about them. But the scary part is the only thing that the FDA regulates in cosmetics and skincare is color additives. There's color additives that have been proven toxic, so they're definitely off the table, but it's kind of scary that all the other ingredients are just a free-for-all. They can use whatever ingredients they want, and they can also cover up ingredients by using just the word fragrance. The word fragrance could mean 5 different things, but they're allowed to just use the word fragrance just to cover that up, which is so scary to me. It's so crazy. So the good news is there are ingredients out there that you can look for that are toxic and carcinogenic. That totally didn't sound right. It's not good news that they're toxic and carcinogenic, but it's good news that they're reported carcinogenic, they're reported harmful, and you guys can look out for these ingredients and you can avoid them altogether if you choose to. So here's a list of ingredients that are proven to be carcinogens but are still included in makeup and skincare. Now, the one ingredient that stood out to me was formaldehyde. Now, I never really noticed formaldehyde as an ingredient in any of my products, but come to find out that formaldehyde is in a lot of eyelash glues. And it was in the specific eyelash glue that I've been using, which freaked me out. So I immediately went on the hunt for a formaldehyde-free eyelash glue, and I found this one from Tarte that has really great reviews, and it is formaldehyde-free. So, and the reason formaldehyde stuck out to me so much was the fact that if we're putting eyelash glue directly on our eyes, we're putting it close to mucous membranes and tear ducts. These are areas on our face that are taking ingredients in, and they're taking those ingredients and absorbing them right into our bloodstream. So that is so scary to me that we're applying this ingredient to an area where it can be so readily absorbed. And now that brings me to my other point. We're being exposed to carcinogens on a daily basis every single day. We're going out into the sunlight, we're being exposed to secondhand smoke, we're being exposed to pollutants in the air. So carcinogens are everywhere, but the amount it's going to affect you depends on your exposure. How long were you out in the sun? Were you wearing sunscreen? Same applies to makeup and skincare. How long was it sitting on your skin? Where is it applied? And a lot of these products, it depends on the molecular weight. Now we're getting to like chemistry, and that's like a whole different video, but basically on how dense the product is. If it's a dense product, it's not going to be absorbed into your skin, and the risk is extremely low. So you also have to take that into consideration. Now let's get into parabens and phthalates. So here's, I know, a very controversial subject. People feel very strongly about this, but I just wanted, again, to get the facts out there to you guys. So basically, parabens are a preservative. Preservatives that can be found in skincare, makeup, and even in the food you eat, the beverages you drink, they're everywhere. And phthalates, I don't understand too much of them, but basically they're defined as a plasticizer, so it can make things more flexible. So putting it into hairspray, they're in nail polish, they're in a lot of different things. So parabens can be an extremely scary thing because they've actually been found in breast cancer tissue. But again, you have to take into account the exposure and whether or not, was it taken in from food, the environment. You don't know where it came from. And there's actually no direct link linking cosmetics or skincare to breast cancer. If you guys know of a study out there, please let me know, but all the research I've done, I couldn't find one study, and the American Cancer Society and the FDA both have shown no link to cancer, so they have deemed them safe to use in cosmetics and skincare. But again, it's up to you whether or not you just want to completely avoid them altogether. If you take the route of it's better safe than sorry, that's totally understandable. Me, on the other hand, I don't necessarily look out for them. If I see it on a package that they're paraben and phthalate free, I take that as a bonus, great, but I probably should be looking out for them more. But I feel like until there's a proven study to show me that they're extremely harmful, then I'll really try and avoid them. But for right now, I'm just going to be using the products I'll be using, but like I said, it's a bonus if a product doesn't have them in them. So now let's get into Tiffany Masterson, the founder of Drunk Elephant's Suspicious 6. These are the ingredients that she completely avoids putting into all her products. Now, not to say that there's any direct links to say that these ingredients are harmful or toxic, but these are the ingredients that, through her research and through her own use, she just found that they were irritating to the skin, and just ingredients that she just wanted to leave out completely. So the first ingredient she doesn't use is fragrance. She basically says that using fragrance is completely unnecessary. It doesn't aid to what the product is actually doing. It's just adding to the pleasure of using the product, basically. And she says that it can be irritating to the skin, and some people out there say that fragrance can be drying on their skin and extremely irritating and inflammatory on their skin. Now I own a ton of products with fragrance in them. I actually enjoy fragrance sometimes, but I don't have extremely sensitive skin. I feel like if you have sensitive skin, it probably is good to avoid. Now, I really do appreciate that her products don't have fragrance in them, while some of them stink really bad. Like, I have to show you this. Her vitamin C serum has like the worst smell to it ever. I've heard Stephanie and Nicole say that it smells like hot dogs, and I couldn't agree with her more, but the stuff works, and I'll take that over a fragrance moisturizer that has no benefit to my skin. The stuff really does work. So I really do appreciate that factor. So I don't necessarily avoid fragrance altogether, but I do appreciate when it's taken out of a product. So the second ingredient that she avoids is alcohol. So there's a lot of misconceptions about alcohol, but there's two different types of alcohol: fatty alcohol and drying alcohols. Now, drying alcohols, they say, or Tiffany says, it's the alcohols that you really should avoid using. These can dry out your skin, they can be irritating to your skin, and those include, I'll include the list in the video, but the biggest one you're going to see is SD alcohol. That can be extremely drying to your skin. But the good alcohols, the fatty alcohols, are alcohols like cetyl alcohol, and I'm not sure the other ones, but again, I'll list them. But in some cases, these alcohols can be beneficial to the product. It actually binds products together, and there's actually some ingredients that you wouldn't be able to mix together without the use of alcohol, so sometimes it can be really beneficial to a product. She also avoids essential oils. So basically, essential oils, they can be found in nature, but she says that the majority of the makeup of the essential oil may be synthetic. So maybe only 20% of the oil is an actual natural product. And she, again, finds that they can be irritating and sensitizing to the skin. It can also react to certain medications you're taking, so she just avoids them completely. And then we get into the sulfates. So she completely avoids using SLS or sodium lauryl sulfate. So sulfates are the things in your products that helps the product lather. So look at all your shampoos or cleansers. Usually the second ingredient is SLS, and they can be really irritating and drying to the skin. So I just looked, I actually have a shampoo that has SLS as the second ingredient, so it makes me want to go shopping for a new shampoo because I already have dry, coarse hair as it is, so that's not helping matters. But me personally, I find that it's more important when it comes to skincare because this is sitting on your skin. So a big one to eliminate can be a facial cleanser. So I had this one from Clinique. I had this from last year. This was from before when I went cruelty free. But the second ingredient in this is SLS. And I was extremely surprised at this because this is actually marketed to dry or combo skin. And I really did never feel like my skin was moisturized from this. And I've since switched to Pixi's Glow Mud Cleanser. This has 5% glycolic acid in it. And it also is a creamy mud cleanser. It doesn't have any sulfates in here. It's vegan, it's paraben free. So lots of good things in this cleanser. I highly recommend this. So I just feel like a cleanser is a good place to start if you're trying to eliminate SLS completely out of your skincare routine. Hair care, on the other hand, can be a little bit more difficult. I actually found a cleansing conditioner that I really like. Like I said, my shampoo right now has SLS in it, but I have this cleansing conditioner by Kristin. This is a new line at Target, and this is a non-foaming cleanser that's sulfate free that you apply to your roots, and it still cleanses yet moisturizes your hair without foam. I have to admit, this was really hard for me to get used to at first. I felt like the lathering action was what actually got my hair clean, but then I finally realized that you really don't need sulfate in your shampoos to actually cleanse your hair. But I have to look into this more because, again, I own plenty of shampoos with SLS in it, but I will try and be better about this. And another thing that she avoids, now I don't know too much about this, but she avoids chemical screens. I'll list all these names below. She says that some chemical screens are known as endocrine disruptors and are estrogenic, which may interfere with the body's natural hormones. So those sound pretty scary. Now, again, I don't know much about the studies related to these chemical screens, but it's good to know that she eliminates them altogether. And then the last thing that she doesn't use is silicone. So there's lots of studies to show that silicone can be irritating and an inflammatory agent. Now for me with my dry skin, I actually appreciate a silicone in a product. A ton of my conditioners have silicone in it, my moisturizers have silicones in it. But if you have oily or acne prone skin, it is probably good for you to avoid these altogether. The belief is that a silicone, it's an emollient, so it sits on your skin, it makes a product silky, it gives it that silky smooth texture, but when it sits on your skin, it can occlude your pores and just keep dirt in, dirt and oil stays in. It doesn't let your skin breathe, but this can be beneficial for dry skin because it keeps the moisture in. So I really feel like it's up to your skin type on whether or not you should eliminate silicones altogether, but I have to say it's really difficult to find a good foundation without silicone in it. There are some water-based foundations out there, but there's a total abundance of silicone foundations out there. And if you guys want more information on silicones, check out my video on best foundations for dry skin. I include a ton of silicone foundations in there, and I also include a link to a ton of articles that talk about silicone and silicone in cosmetic products. And another ingredient I wanted to touch on was talc. So a lot of powders and foundations are being advertised as talc free, and that is great, but I just wanted to let you guys know that there has been no link, according to the FDA, that links talc to ovarian cancer. There was a lot of misinformation out there a few years back when there was that big suit against Johnson & Johnson. A woman was diagnosed with ovarian cancer, and it came out that Johnson & Johnson ultimately lost the lawsuit because they were negligent in information that they didn't provide. So not that talc was proven to cause ovarian cancer, but they neglected some information. I'm not exactly clear on all the details of it. I'll link some articles down below. But that was talc related to feminine hygiene. Again, there's absolutely no link to link talc in cosmetics to ovarian cancer. And like I said, a lot of products are being advertised as talc free, and I think that is great. If you want to avoid talc, which I really try and do, there's a lot of products that are, I'm surprised that I find later that there's talc in them, and I probably would have tried to avoid it. There's a lot of ongoing studies out there, and until there's a proven study, I probably won't necessarily look out for it. But again, there's more research on it needed. So it's totally up to you, obviously, on whether or not you want to take the stance on it's better safe than sorry with it. Talc is still on the shelves, it's still in products. So again, there needs to be ongoing research on talc. There's a ton of research needed on a lot of these ingredients. And that's another reason ingredients like talc are still out in products. We need better studies, we need longer studies, we need more subjects. But it's really hard to conduct these studies in certain environments, in certain subjects, but it seems like the biggest hurdle has been time. We need a long time to develop these studies and to determine whether or not there's links to cancer. So again, we just need more research out there, but until then, please look at the FDA, the CDC, the American Cancer Society, look at their website, look at the articles for yourself. And another website that you guys definitely should check out is the EWG's website, the Environmental Working Group's website. So they have a huge database of every ingredient. You can search by ingredient, by product, and they use a hazard score. So they rate their products based on how risky they are related to cancer and allergies and just other issues out there on a low, medium, or high hazard score. So I find that this is a really good resource. They use a ton of reliable links. So that is also a great reference for you guys. Paula's Choice has an awesome ingredient list on their website. I find that they can be a little biased based on what's in their actual skincare. I'm a fan of their skincare, but you'll notice there are certain ingredients that they use in their skincare that they'll rate as good or excellent. So take that as you will, but I do find that it explains ingredients in just layman's terms. We're overwhelmed with these long ingredients that I can barely pronounce or read. So to be able to have a resource that just explains things in 3 words or just 1 sentence, just layman's terms, really helps me. So that is a great resource. And again, I encourage you guys to do your own research. Please let me know if there's anything you guys have come across, any new studies that are out there. I would love to know. Hopefully you guys got some information out of this. I hope I was able to explain this in an objective way. I just wanted to give you guys the facts. So again, I encourage you to do your own research. Please let me know if there's any new studies that you have come across, any more information that you have. I'm completely open to information and opinions. Let me know what you guys think about these things. Do you guys completely avoid phthalates and parabens in your products? Do I say that word right? I don't know if I do. Is it phthalates? I think it's phthalates. But let me know what you guys avoid. But let me know your thoughts. I'm completely open to it. Leave everything in the comment section. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. See you guys.